Dragon's Den, we've all seen it at one point or other. The show where entrepreneurs pitch 5 successful investors looking for investment in their business. Peter Jones, serial entrepreneur with interest in mobile phones, television, media, leisure, retail and property. Estimated net worth about £1.1 billion. Deborah Meaden, who initially made her money in holiday parks, estimated net worth £44 million. Touker Suleyman, a fashion retail investor with an estimated net worth of £200 million. And Sara Davies, founder and owner of Crafter's Companion, with an estimated net worth of £37 million. But wait, who's the new guy? What's happening, people? My name is Robbie, and today I'm going to give you an insight into the newest dragon in the den, Steven Bartlett, or as he's known on Instagram, Steven. It probably cost him a few quid getting that Instagram handle. So I've followed Steven on Instagram and watched him on YouTube since around 2016, so it was cool to hear the news that he was the newest and youngest dragon in the den. When you've followed someone on social media for that long, you start to root for them, start to hope that they do well, and obviously you don't know them, but it starts to feel like you know them, if that makes sense. So of course, because you're watching this right now, you must be rooting for me and hoping that I become successful. And as such, you should probably like this video to help me along the way. Thanks. So let's take it back to the beginning for Steven. Not all the way back to his childhood, but we'll take it back to university where he started his company. As a young man in 2014, Steven moved to Manchester to study business management at the Manchester Metropolitan University. While he was there, he had the idea to create an online platform on various social medias that students at universities could communicate with each other, post about events they were hosting, selling textbooks, organise groups, and advertise in general. Steven described himself as a Gumtree for students. This platform was called Wallpark, and instead of running Wallpark on the side while studying at university, Steven decided that he would just drop out and take on Wallpark full time. I think this was probably a wise decision. While working on Wallpark, he stumbled across a Twitter page that posted relatable, funny content aimed at students, which wasn't as common then, whereas now there are literally millions of meme accounts on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. They're absolutely everywhere. So this Twitter page was run by a guy at Edinburgh University called Dominic McGregor. Steven thought Dominic's post would work perfectly with slotting in advertisers' content without sacrificing the content and losing followers because of that. They got chatting together, and off the back of this, Dom also decided to drop university, and the pair founded Social Chain. Social Chain was a social media marketing agency, and they kickstarted their success with those little adverts that you used to see on Instagram, not as common anymore. You know the ones that would advertise mobile games, and they would have slogans like, if you beat this game, you're officially a pro, and 99% of people can't beat this game. Now, whether you like these adverts or not, they absolutely worked, and some of Social Chain's clients stayed at the top of the App Store charts for weeks on end. But they quickly moved on from just the small mobile game ads and started adding some major players to their portfolio, like Spotify, Microsoft and Procter & Gamble. If you're not aware, Procter & Gamble make pretty much everything under your kitchen sink and probably in your bathroom as well. It was around this time that I started following Steven on social media. I don't actually remember how I found him in the first place, but this was also around the same time that he started his YouTube vlog, Everyday Steve. I think the idea was similar to Gary Vaynerchuk's series Daily V, which was essentially a day in the life series of a CEO of a social media marketing agency. I don't know what it is about these series, but I find them very entertaining and very interesting. So I was hooked on both Gary and Steven's videos at the time. These videos gave you a full insight into Social Chain, what Steven's typical day looked like, what it was like to work at Social Chain, and even some clips of his French bulldog Pablo. I think part of the allure of Social Chain was the company culture that you could see on these vlogs. There was regular FIFA tournaments with staff, a slide that went into a ball pit in the office, dogs running around the office. There was even a happiness manager who was in charge of tracking everyone's birthdays, making sure that they got gifts for that, running events, making sure the office was decorated if it was Christmas, Halloween, Valentine's Day, whatever, just to generally keep people happy and keep morale high. I've just went and had a little nosy on YouTube, and the Everyday Steve videos are still live on YouTube. The name of the channel is The Diary of a CEO Clips. That's the name of Steven's podcast that he still runs at the minute, but it still has all the old videos on there too. I think they're a good watch if you have some time to kill and you're interested in learning more about Steven, but don't go visiting the channel just yet. Stay here, finish the video, don't ruin my viewer retention, and like the video, remember, and subscribe. Then when the video's over, go and have a look at those videos, or just stay on my channel and watch all of my videos instead. Thanks. After running Social Chain for a few years, they started to receive attention from a large media company in Germany called Glow Media. In news articles that I've been reading this week, Glow Media have been referred to as a powerhouse. This resulted in a big investment from Glow Media in Social Chain, and this enabled Social Chain to open offices in Germany and the USA. During this time, Steven launched the podcast that I just mentioned, The Diary of a CEO. I actually remember seeing him post on Instagram that he'd started a podcast. I don't remember exactly, he either went in a cupboard in his flat with the voice notes on his phone, or put his head under his duvet and recorded it on the voice notes on his phone. But the point stands that he started that podcast on the voice notes on his phone, just on a whim when he had some spare time one night. This was years ago and it's still going, so again, good decision. So it's still an active podcast. There's a new episode released every week, with interviews with people like Nick Jenkins, the founder of Moonpig, TV and radio presenter Reggie Yates, and even Liam Payne from One Direction. Good podcast, you should listen to it. But not yet, stay on this video, remember. Stay with me. Following on from Glow Media's investment in Social Chain, 2019 seen Social Chain taking the next step into the big leagues. They merged with a company called Lumaland and went public on the Dusseldorf Stock Exchange with a value of 140 million euros. When you actually think about it, that's pretty insane that he started that company on a little desk like I'm using just now in his room at university, and they floated it on the Dusseldorf Stock Exchange at a value of 140 million euros. Then Steven decided to take a different step. In 2020, without publicly revealing the reasons why, Steven and Dominic both decided to step down from Social Chain. I've tried to do a bit of digging and I can't seem to find if Steven sold his shares in Social Chain, sold some of them, sold all of them, or is still a shareholder, but he no longer works at Social Chain. What we do know is Steven then went on to set up Catena Capital, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, a private equity firm focused on the future, as Steven puts it. They have interests in cryptocurrency, space, biotech and healthcare. And at the minute, he has an estimated net worth of £68 million. Now, as I said before, I don't know if that's held in Social Chain shares or if that's cash in the bank, other investments. £68 million net worth, and I think he's 29. He's not 30, I know that much. How old is Steven Bartlett? 29, not bad for 29. So that brings us up to the present day. Steven divides his time by running his private equity firm, recording episodes of the Diary of a CEO podcast, and now filming episodes for Dragon's Den. I've just found out as well that Steven released a book earlier on this year called Happy Sexy Millionaire. Having a look online, it has received some good reviews, and you know me, I like a good book, so I probably will pick that up in the next couple of weeks and see what that's all about. But I think that does it for the rundown of Steven Bartlett. As I mentioned before, if you are interested in learning more about Steven, all his old vlogs are on the Diary of a CEO Clips channel, and they are a good watch if you have some spare time. Episode 1 of this year's Dragon's Den hasn't released yet, so only time will tell if Steven can hold his own amongst powerhouses like Peter Jones and Deborah Meaden, but I'll definitely be tuning in to see how he gets on. And speaking of net worths and investment, last week I posted my investment portfolio update, so that'll be on the screen here, I think, if you want to go and watch that. It's not quite £69 million like Steven Bartlett, but it's okay. So go and have a look at that if you're interested in what I'm investing in, and I will see you next week. Take it easy.